today's session, you'll meet a fantastic panel of vibrant Canadore students representing various programs and roles on campus, including members of the Canadore Student Council. This session offers a unique opportunity to dive into student life here in North Bay at Canadore College. This session will focus solely on student life at Canadore College. If you have questions about different departments or services, you can check out our previous table talk sessions covering various topics, and make sure to watch the orientation videos that are on the Canadore Orientation website, which will be shared in the chat. We will also be using the Q&A feature today for any additional questions that you may have. Your questions will be visible to everyone, but if you prefer a more discreet approach, you can ask the questions anonymously. So please ensure that your questions and comments are respectful and appropriate. This session is also being recorded and it will be posted on the Canadore Orientation webpage.
Let's kick off this session by starting with some of the most frequently asked questions that we have received over the years. We'll cover all the key topics for North Bay that you've been curious about. Our first question is going out to all our panelists here, and we'll start with some familiar faces for those that have tuned in to our previous sessions. We'll start with Jade and Talha, our wonderful co-hosts from the previous sessions, of course. Now, instead of being the ones asking the questions, you'll be the ones answering. All right, so let's start with Jade. Please introduce yourself and let us know what program you are taking at Canadore College.
Thank you, Ziad. Hi, everyone. My name is Jade. I'm taking early childhood education at Canadore.
Thank you. And Talha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Talha Kashif. I'm taking project management. This actually is my second course, so I've kind of chosen again. So it's been a great experience, you know.
All right. Thank you very much, Talha. Next, go, Sharon. Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Gursharan Kaur, and again, this is my second year at Canadore and my second program. It's plumbing.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. And we have Shruti.
Hello, hi. My name is Shruti. I am the Vice President for Student Life from the Student Council. And right now I'm in the Mental Health and Addictions program. I am also in my second course right now.
Thank you very much, everyone. And now that we've gotten to know all our students a little bit better, now we want to know, what do you like best about being a student at Canadore? So we can go with the same order again. Talha. Oh, yeah, unmute.
Sorry. Well, honestly, what I love about being a student at Canada is how at Canada things are so lively and engaging. There's always some kind of activity or event happening, whether it's a workshop, some fun event, or just something to break the routine. It's not just about hitting the books. The college really creates an environment where you feel connected and supported. So it's great. It's a great balance of education and all these opportunities to meet people and have fun. So yeah, it's been good being a student.
Yes, I agree with you. It needs a balance, right? You need to have fun and study, right? And that's what brings you to success. Thank you very much for that, Talha. Let's go to next, Gusharan.
So to answer this question, I'll first begin by talking about North Bay. North Bay, I say it's the best city for students with least distractions. And coming to Canadore and North Bay, I'd say it has the best programs, the best staff, and the thing that I liked the most was about its hands-on training at the state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, they're commendable. That's all I had to say. It's great. I'm enjoying my experience so far, and yeah, it's been great. It's been wonderful.
All right, thank you very much. So keywords here: North Bay is a smaller city, less distractions, and of course, our college has hands-on, practical sessions, of course, that you learn from. And let's move to Jade.
I really like the professors at Canadore. I find it makes a really big difference when you have professors that care and really want to see their students succeed, and you can kind of collaborate and make your time here a little bit easier.
Of course, the professors do make a big difference, and thank you for that. And let's go to Shruti.
I would like to build on what everyone said. They basically covered everything. It's about community engagement and support for students. I was in the healthcare admin program last year, and all my profs were literally working in the hospital. And one of the professors was the CEO of the hospital, and that's a big deal to get to learn from people like that. And everybody at Canadore is ready to support you no matter what. Like if you have an issue, if the person you go to, they don't know what they are supposed to do, they will guide you. The person who will help you, like there's always support available, and that's what I find is the greatest thing.
That's so important, the support that's available to all the students. Go, Sharon, you have hand raised. Yes.
Yeah, I like to add on to something. So, about Canada, we have a number of clubs and programs. So I would like to talk about one which me and Shruti were part of. It was called I Can Lead. It's a leadership program, so one can build their leadership skills, they can hone their communication and all those things that need to survive in a community. And other sports clubs like badminton, dodgeball. I remember I've never played dodgeball until I came here. So it's great experience for sports people who are interested in research. Yeah.
Yeah, Guru Sharan was she just said like clubs, that is basically part of my job. And as for I Can Lead, Talha just joined us, so yeah, it's amazing.
Wow, wonderful team. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Before I jump into the next question, I do want to introduce one more person that we have joining us who's helping us kind of behind the scenes, and that is Kevin. Kevin is he's a staff member with us at Student Success Services, but he is also a Canadore alumni. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to Kevin, who's going to be maybe jumping in and answering some questions too, because he has also a really good perspective of recent graduate and current employee. But I'll jump into our next question, which is about the textbooks. So for those of you who joined us on Tuesday, Kathy let you know how to find your textbook lists. But now we're going to hear from the students and see about the actual textbooks. If they're expensive, is it better to buy new or used? And when is the best time to buy textbooks? So we're going to start with Gershon because you've had to buy textbooks for 2 different programs at 2 different campuses. So what's your insights into purchasing?
So I'd say that the textbooks, well, they definitely break the bank. They can be expensive at times. So my first program, environmental management, honestly, I did not have to use any book until the second semester, which was my final semester. And that was kind of expensive, I'd say, for someone new like me. And for my second program, plumbing, again, we had some heavy books. And the thing was, I could not buy an older version because for plumbing, we had to take the recent edition of Ontario Plumbing Codes, and it keeps updating and updating. So you'd have to buy the new one. But if you get the chance to buy, if you have an older textbook available, I'll say go for that if it is in a good condition.
Good to know, and especially it makes sense if you're doing building codes, you want to make sure that you're doing it up to date. So Jade, how about you? How's your textbook experience been?
It really varies based on my last program versus the program I'm currently in. Some professors prefer you to wait until the last, the first week of classes, and just to get it, you've had a chance to go to all your classes and figure out, okay, what textbooks do I need to buy versus ones I don't need to buy. Some professors will give you textbooks like at the end of the semester to buy for the next semester. So it really just depends on your program and professor, but really just thinking about your budget when you're thinking about buying used or new textbooks and kind of go from there.
So much. All right, and I'm gonna go into the next question, and this one, it's gonna go to Jade as well. I've got you, and it's how much time do you spend outside of your class working on assignments?
I would say between 15 to 20 hours, depending on the weight of each assignment. That's the key. You really want to manage your time and stay organized. So get a planner, I'd recommend for sure. If you have a program that has heavier assignments, or even if you don't, having a planner is a really good way to stay organized and you know how to manage your time. It really just varies on the weight of each assignment. So kind of looking at your syllabus and seeing, okay, which ones weigh less and more, and kind of going about it that way.
And Shruti, how about you? How much time do you spend working on?
I don't know the exact hours, but I am very, very lazy. But yes, the thing is time management, just like Jade said, and getting a planner, that thing works. I didn't try it the first year, but starting second semester, I was like, oh no, I need that, or else I cannot manage all of this. But what's gonna happen is sometimes you get time in class from your profs to work on it, and sometimes there's time in between classes. So you can actually manage all of that during because you have to stay on campus anyway. Sometimes there's like 2, 3 hours of gap between classes and you cannot go anywhere. So might as well finish up those assignments. So once you go home, you don't have to worry about it again.
Oh, perfect. So I'm hearing time management is really important. And if anybody needs help with time management, Ziad is a fantastic resource. You can book some time with him and he'll help you get all organized. If you're at the College Drive campus, Jill Gear, she is our International Transition Retention Support Coordinator there. She can also help you get started on getting organized. All right.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Trish. Yeah, that's something which might be different for international students, especially, right? The scheduling compared to back home. So yeah, I'm here to help, and Jill is at College Drive. So let me ask some questions now about attendance. What happens if you miss a class or are late for for the class? Shruti.
So not to sound like a teacher's pet, but it's really, really important to attend classes. They might say they do say that attendance is usually not counted or something like that. But if you show up, it matters. First of all, you learn. You actually learn in class more than anything else. And other than that, if you show up for class and if you are not doing well, but you have been in class, this is what our prof says, they will drag you to the finish line no matter what. They will get you there. All you need to do is just show up. And if you're missing a class or you're late, just drop an email. Just let the prof know so that they know that you're actually interested in this. And like, I don't know, every prof has a different thing that they do, a different method, but better late than never showing up at all.
Okay, thank you. Before we go to Talha, let's hear from Kevin.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Kevin Santana. I'm a graduate from the Biotechnology Technician program, and I'm also working right now as a staff for Canada as Proctor. So continuing on what Trudy said about it, it is definitely very important to go to class because, well, in my case, which was the Biotechnology Technician program, things have a snowball effect, right? So if you start looking like, let's say, particularly on statistics, like if you miss one class and then you don't understand a concept, well, of course you can get it, in a book, or you can ask your friends or your professor, but you will definitely you wanna be there. You wanna get to know that concept before going on to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. Of course, I'm not saying like, oh no, it's forbidden to, not assist. No, because life happens and something can happen. But you wanna make sure that you are updated about what they're talking about and what you want to do there. And if you have friends there, which is a great important thing for students too, which is the networking. If you have friends, you let them know that maybe you won't be going or what were they talking about, so you can read about it yourself, because in certain areas things can have that snowballing effect that later in the semester you don't want to have that on your back.
Yeah, very important indeed. Thank you very much. Let's go to Talha.
Well, I feel both Kevin and Shruti have already emphasized how important it is to attend classes. And I think it all comes down to your classes, and your education is what you're here for, right? So why won't you want to show up? But then, there are circumstances where you might not be able to join classes. Like, I mean, I recently had a dentist appointment and I had to just like write an email to my professor letting them know that I won't be attending the class. That is how the proper way of, uh, you know, uh, handling the situation would be that if you are not able to join a class, you should, and if you know this in advance that you won't be able to join, then you should definitely drop an email to your professor and let them know that you won't be there. That way is they would be able to give you some insights if there's something that you've missed in the class, and they can always fill you up on that. As for coming late, I've seen a lot of students doing that. Most of the student faculties at college, they are very accommodating, so they let you join in the class. I would say let's not do that. I mean, try and be on time. But then again, if for any reason you are late, what one thing I would advise all the students coming in is like try and be respectful. I've seen students walk in the class, excuse me, walk inside the class and make most noises. They'll start pulling chairs and try to sit beside their friends, and they'll start chatting while there's a class going on. So I feel that disrupts the whole class. It's not good. Try and be very respectful. Walk in if you're allowed to walk inside a class and attend, even if you're late, just walk in and find a seat and try and maintain the discipline.
Thank you. And Gershon.
Yeah, I feel like I have something to say about this too. So I'm gonna share my personal experience missing classes and showing late. So in my previous program that was environmental management, we had this course which was about success and getting ahead in environmental field. So it was mostly about building resumes, how you had to be presenting yourself in interviews. So I felt like, okay, I could miss a class or two. It won't hurt much. But when my end result came, I got C in that class just because I missed a few classes and I wasn't showing up. So again, as Shruti said, the teachers sometimes they will drag you to the end. And in my plumbing program too, because we always have to show up on time because teachers are not waiting for one person at all. And I have seen myself teachers not letting the students inside the class even if they are 30 seconds late, because if it is 8:30 in class, the test starts at 8:30, you got to be in class before 8:30. Yeah. No, I don't feel like I'm gonna be in that position again. I've learned my lesson.
Thank you for sharing that. Actually, it's very important, right? Because not all professors would accommodate students who are coming late. Yeah. Thank you. And thanks everyone for sharing your experiences. Just to mention very quickly, it's important to make every effort to show up for your classes on time. It's really important to ensure you know what the attendance policy is in your class, in your program, especially because there are certain classes where attendance is mandatory, especially if you're taking programs that have labs, for example. So this is something you might want to ask your course instructor. And I'm sure they will go over it in the first class during the first week of classes also. And then also finally, you have your syllabus, which is available to you that you can go through and learn more about it. Having said that, now we make a 180-degree turn to a different topic, food, everyone's favorite. So the question to Talha first, how is the food on campus?
Well, food on the campus is pretty diverse. My classes are at Commerce Code, so I can best talk about Commerce Code. Other students can tell you about College Drive campus. The food assortment, it goes like, you can buy pizza slices, you have burgers, there are some healthy options like, you have soups and sandwiches. There's a whole lot of variety that I've seen over there in the canteen. But personally, I think coffee is the most important item, and that gets sold. Honestly speaking, it's a lifesaver for those early morning classes. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty diverse range of things that you can buy at the college canteen.
Yeah, classes start at 8:30 and you're gonna be on time, so get your coffee. All right. Let's go to Jade, who will tell us about College Drive.
Yeah, there's a lot of food options on College Drive. We have Subway, Twigs, and the CAF has, different options for whatever you might be looking for. I have a bad habit of always getting Twigs when I come to campus because I always need caffeine. But Subway's really good too because it's a good healthy option. I mean, if you want to balance it out, whatever. But those are my usually go-to. There's also pizza that all of my friends really prefer as well. So there's a lot of diverse options for students, both healthy and unhealthy. So you just have to find balance.
Thank you.
Thanks for making me hungry. Also for College Drive, there's the cafeteria, but if you go across the street, there is the NUSU building that also has a restaurant. I cannot remember the name of it right now. I think it's Bay Bistro.
Yeah,
They also
maybe.
have some pretty good food there. And if you do have a meal plan, you can use your meal plan to eat at the Bay Bistro. But moving from food on campus, what are the best places to eat off campus? And Jade, we'll start back with you.
All right, so my favorite places to eat on campus, if you're looking for healthier options, are like Eastside Mario's and Sills. They do offer like student discounts there as well, so you can show your student card and get discounts at different restaurants, not just those ones. But also, if you want something fast, you can go to Wendy's, A&W. You can go to McDonald's. Those are all pretty close if you live in residence too, so you can just take the bus and go there as well.
Shruti, what do you like to
I
eat?
think we agree on East Side Mario's. It's good. It's really good. And like Jade said about the student discounts, I was going to talk about that a little bit more because we have something called Panthers Perks. So that's basically if you are a student, you can get the app, and on there we have a discount for a lot of things. And that includes Sills Neighborhood Kitchen. I want to say Northern Himalayan Cafe. There's a few more restaurants that offer discount to students. I want to say Burger World as well. So yeah, Trish just shared that. Thank you very much. So yeah, I once you become a student, you have everything. You enroll on there, and you can go to a lot of fancy restaurants with that and get your discount, and that's best. And another thing is that we have all kinds of restaurants available. We have Indian restaurants, we have Chinese restaurants, we have one Korean restaurant. So yeah, it's like you can try and test it for yourself.
Thank you. Gershon, how about you? Where's your favorite place to eat?
Okay, so well, I'm not the person who would go out and eat a lot, but I do have some personal preferences. I'll start by talking about Pizza Pizza. Well, that is located in downtown. I really like their pizza. And second thing I love the most is nachos. And the best nachos I've ever had in North Bay is from Casino's restaurant. The best. And then, the most famous Canadian poutine. I really like enjoying New York fries. Yeah, they got the best poutine in North Bay, I'd say. Yeah, I think that's all on my mind. I just eat these three things all the time if I
Tea
have
is
to.
very good. Definitely recommend that one. And nachos too. I have not tried the nachos from Casino. Is it Casinos? Like Cascades?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Haven't tried that
Yeah,
one.
it's called the Matched Restaurant, I think.
Okay, delicious. I'll have to try that. My favorite nachos are from either Mr. Poncho's or Greco's. I get the deluxe there. So Kevin, we'll get you to share a little bit about your favorite places to eat.
Yeah, I was just about to say that this last year, Latin American food here in Norway like got a boost. So you have that Mr. Pancho's, which is great. You also have a lot of the guac place on Lakeshore. They also do burritos there. You have La Casa de Maria, which just opened this year. So it is good to see that also, Norway is getting all these places. Definitely, when I was a college student, I'm not gonna lie, my favorite place to eat was the soup from the cafeteria at College Drive. They do good soup there, and it's if you're in a budget, it's just $3.49 plus the fresh cold water that always goes from the fountains. It's great. So there you go.
Also a big fan of soup. All right, Tala, we'll get you to wrap things up with places to eat.
Well, I think everybody's listed their favorite places, but I can just sum it up to say it depends on what you like, I mean, what I can tell you, there are plenty of options. We have all major food chains in North Bay. You have McD's, you have Subways, you have a few fine dine restaurants as well. And to any South Indian students out there listening, there are plenty of options for you too. I feel in the last 2, 3 years, there's been a lot of South Asian restaurants that have popped up. So there's this whole variety. I mean, it just depends where you want to eat, what's your budget, and yeah, it just depends what you want. Everything is here probably.
Thanks very much. Okay, so next question for all of you is there anything that you learned about the school, so Canadore, only after you started your classes that you wished you'd known before starting? So Shruti, we'll start with you.
So I guess we all are used to acing our exams back home and being good at what we are doing. So what I would say is what I learned is the moment you come to a new country, it's not gonna be same. You have to take some time. Like the professors, they're amazing, they'll teach you, but there is gonna be a barrier which you need to cross. Like the learning styles are different, everything is different, exams are different, assignments are different, you need to follow some things. So in the beginning, right at the beginning, it's not going to be easy and it can be quite frustrating, but give yourself time, because the professors can help you, but at the same time you have to figure it out and it'll take some time. So allow yourself that much time to get there where you used to be. It's not going to be all nice and flowery in the beginning, when it's about studying.
How about Gershon? What did you learn?
So I'd say I really had a great advantage before I started my school. Why? Because my own sibling and my other two cousins that I'm currently living with now, they all three of them studied from Canada. So they all shared their experiences and how I need to thrive in Canada College. They were the ones who told me about on-campus jobs, the clubs that I can join. They always told me to listen everyone, because you listen to teachers, they're obviously gonna you know level you up, and if you make new friends, again, you learn new things, you build a stronger community, and that again helps you thrive in the community as a whole. But again, the Canada College, it's best. I mean, you learn every second. And again, as Shruti mentioned, there are some barriers. I would say one of them is linguistics. Not every time, but yeah, some of the times. But it's okay. You got your community by your side. You'll be fine.
Thanks, Gershon. Tala, how about you?
Well, I feel I would have loved to know more about the style of education. For me, it was the mix of the classes that I took. There was a mix of case studies, quizzes, and discussion posts. It's a bit different from the kind of education style I was used to back in India, where things were more inclined towards learning and memorizing, where in contrast over here, they were more the practical application of how you use that in situations and, like, as I said, case studies and stuff. So it was a bit different. It took me a while to get used to it, but once you get used to it, I think it's pretty easy from there.
Oh, we do like to do a lot of hands-on learning and lots of case studies. All right, we'll pass it along to Jay to wrap up this question.
All right. So I think as a first year student coming into like my first program, my biggest issue was the bus. And talking to other first year students now that I'm in my second program, that's also what they struggle with. So I think just getting more information about the bus early on is important. But other than that, once you get into the routine of using the bus, it gets easier. But that's one thing as a first year student way back when that I struggled with.
Yes, the bus. And we'll put in the chat some information just about getting your digital ID and accessing your student ID, which is also going to double as your bus pass. Pass it back to Ziad.
All right, thank you, Trish. Now, the question here is, can you work part-time while you're going to school? Let's start with Gershon.
Well, certainly. I mean, Why not? Because your school offers plenty of time for a student to work part-time. Again, as I previously mentioned, we have on-campus jobs available, and you're allowed to work 10 hours a week, and coordinators are super generous to fit those hours in your study schedule. And apart from that, I think your weekends are completely free, and yeah, you can make good amount of 20 to 24 hours in that time. So yeah, a person can definitely work part-time and study full-time without missing any classes.
It's important. And Talha?
Yeah, I feel most students they balance their work part-time and college. I think as Gusharan said, there's like you can do 10 hours of if you find a job in college campus, it's like you can do 10 hours of work, and if you find a job off campus, you can work up to I think 24 hours. Everybody manages quite well. It's up to the individual how they manage their time. Most students find their part-time jobs on weekends. Some find time between or after classes. However, I cannot stress enough that your prime focus should be on your studies, as that's what you're here for. So you should not compromise your education on you know for the sake of working outside.
All right, thank you. And Kevin?
So, of course, continuing on what Tal has said, it is very important to make sure that your priority is education, of course. With that said, I have an opinion that it is definitely very important to get a part-time job while we're working as a student. In my personal case, when I was studying my program, I also worked for Canadore, but as international student ambassador, peer tutor for student success services, and that helped me a lot in the nuances of the languages, in how Canadore staff worked, in how the backdoor and for the programs worked, like and that is also knowledge. So if you change the mindset of thinking, oh, I'm going to work, yes, and that can be a little bit hard on the mind. But if you say, no, I'm also learning because it's a new culture, because it's a new stuff. If you change the mindset and say, oh, I'm working and I'm learning as well, and I'm learning how do they do things here, the little nuances of the languages, the slang, and how to make friends while working on that, that is going to be like the influence that will have after you graduate is huge. I commend you personally on that.
All right, thank you. It's great advice here. And so, how has your experience been in finding part-time work, whether it's on campus or off campus? Let's go with Talha.
I feel this is very subjective, honestly. I've been very blessed. I found my first job 2 weeks after arriving in North Bay, but I know some students for whom it took longer. But you should not lose hope or panic. What worked for me was I tried to apply to places that matched with my path. Your employer that anyway. That being said, I've also seen people apply all over the place. So it's a different approach. Everybody does it differently. But you definitely do. I mean, most people I've seen who want to work, they have found work over here. So it's all right. You can always find work.
Thank you. And Jade.
I've always found it easier personally for me to find work on campus because, and I've said it before, I think that on-campus jobs prioritize both school and work, and they're both seen as equal. Whereas for me, finding work on campus, my school schedule was always, put down to my work schedule. My work schedule was always seen as more important. So I feel like on-campus jobs give me a better balance of the two.
Thank you. And let's not forget that we have a center for career development at the college on campus to help you develop your resume and cover letter and give you interview skills, preparation, and so on, right? All right. Let's move on to the next one then. What is better, living in residence or off-campus housing? So let's start directly with Jade then.
All right. Well, I think that they're both great and they have both pros and cons. If you want to live in residence, it's great. If you want to, live on your own for the first time and you want that independence and that more immersive experience with people from other programs. But if you live in North Bay and it's fits better with your lifestyle to live at home or off campus, then do that. But it really just depends on your lifestyle and what you're looking for.
All right, thank you. And next is Shruti.
I agree with that too. It's kind of very subjective, like what you prefer, whether you prefer the residence or off campus. I live off campus and I prefer that because I know there's not many restrictions or anything, but I always felt like living off campus, having your own space, doing your own thing, and you know, it's just about preference, what you prefer.
Thank you. And back to Trish.
Perfect. Thanks so much. All right. So we're going to go back to Jade for our next question. Jade is our North Bay local, and she's going to share some of her local experience for all of us about the weather in North Bay and how cold winter is. So what's the weather like and how cold is winter?
Cold. We've had some milder winters, I will say, over the past couple of years, but normally winters in North Bay get between -25 and -30. In the weather in the fall as well can also be quite, up and down. It could be nice and cold in the morning, nice in the afternoon. It really just kind of depends, but winters tend to get very cold here.
Are you agreeing with her or what's your experience? How do you find the weather?
Well, I would say to all the international students, you are all in for a treat. The weather, it's cold over here. So it's most students who are coming, who are international students. I feel a lot of them have not experienced cold weather as cold as it's in North Bay. So I would say you should come prepared. It's not a bad thing. You just have to come prepared, and it will take time for you to get adjusted. Uh, I would say students coming from countries who do not experience harsh winter, it will be quite an experience. Just come mentally prepared, especially because if you are in the middle, you guys are coming in the middle of the winter, so temperature can go up to it's always in negative and double digits. So it's best come prepared with clothes, come prepared mentally as well. So yeah, it's going to be cold to sum it up.
All right. So speaking of being prepared, Jade, we're going to go back to you. And what kind of clothing do you recommend that students wear, especially in the winter, and for those students who might be either walking to campus or taking the bus?
Well, you should definitely invest, and I always tell people this, in a good winter coat and hat and gloves and boots, especially if, like you said, Trish, if you're walking or you're taking the bus, especially if the bus is late in the winter because of the roads or the conditions that are outside, you want to be prepared and you want to be warm. If you are driving to campus, make sure you at least have a winter coat and even a sweater when you are on campus and you're not wearing your coat so that you can kind of take it on and off as you so choose. But definitely having all those items is really important, especially if you are outside because the wind can be pretty brutal.
Love the wind chill. All right, Shruti, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so the golden words that I heard was dress in layers so that you can add more on and you can remove it depending on, because you'll experience all 4 seasons in one day here. It's gonna be really cold, then it's gonna get down to really hot, and you wouldn't even know what's happening. Just check the temperature before leaving the house, because I did not once, and I was like, oh, it was hot yesterday, it should be fine today. Biggest mistake. I froze to death. Biggest mistake. But yeah, the best thing is my first landlord ever told me that is like dressing in layers, yes, but invest in good shoes. Like spend that money for shoes because you do not want your toes to freeze. Like anything else would be fine, but invest money in really good shoes because you're gonna be walking places. The bus is not gonna take you everywhere. You're gonna be walking places. You're gonna have to do a lot of stuff. Good shoes. That's the thing.
Yes, and there's lots of places to buy shoes in North Bay, and you want to look, a lot of the boots are weather rated. So if you're looking for a weather rating, look for at least -40 and waterproof, because there's nothing like walking in cold, wet boots. All right, Kevin, share some insights with us.
So when I was a student, I asked myself a lot, okay, so what is better? Like to have a different set of clothing, like let's say $340 coats and $340 shoes. Just continuing on what Jade and Rudy said, no. You want to use all that money in one good coat or one good pair of boots? Like, because well, when you're in international here, you're gonna find that you wanna, of course, buy clothes, have new clothes, and one of that questions is, well, do I want to spend $150 on a good coat, or three coats that I can change in $50? No, go for the $150 coat. Go for the good coat, just having one, or a three pair of boots for $60 versus the pair of boots that's 180. Go for the 180. No brainer. Go for the good thing that you know that you will continuously use. And a second advice of that is that there is a very Canadian thing here, and it's the use of the long underwear, which is the long black underwear which has sleeves both for legs and hands. I didn't even know that. I don't have that in my country. It was such an alien concept to me, the long underwear. But on those -40, -30 days, that will guarantee you save you, you know, a bad moment on that day, and you'll be a happy person if you have that particular clothes.
Art of the layer. Thanks, Kevin. All right, Ziad, you gonna wrap
Yeah.
this up?
All right, thank you. Before I move on, though, I'd just like to mention for those who are international students and you're going to experience winter for the first time, you can meet with us, myself, Jill. We do have workshops on Winter 101. All right, so we have one final question. And this is going to all of you now. If you could only give all students one piece of advice, what would it be? Let's start with Gershon.
So, my friends, I'd say Canada is a treasure chest, and a full one. Loot it. Now, on the jokes apart, I'd encourage you all to take advantage of Canada's resources. There's plenty of networking opportunities. There are so many extracurricular activities. And my last point, stay curious and ask questions. It'll help you a lot.
All right, thank you very much. Talha.
I would pick up from the stay curious part. I would say research a bit about the city of North Bay as well, because you're coming here and you will be spending a lot of time over here. Look up uh, at Google Map and see how far is your college from your residence. Try and get a sense of things before you come here, so when you arrive, you don't feel overwhelmed. Check where your grocery stores are, how near it is, if you need to walk, if you need to get a bus. Try and come prepared mentally for such things, because obviously this is not not the city where you have grown up, so it's always going to be, everything's going to be new. So when you come mentally prepared, it's easier to adjust. Try and join student groups. There are a lot of student groups on Facebook. I found my roommate on a Facebook group. All of this helps you in settling well when you arrive here. But one thing I would advise everyone is to make sure you complete your CAN 100 on iLearn. It's a super helpful course. It introduces you to all the resources and facilities available at Canada. So yeah, that'll be my advice.
All right, thank you. Jade.
I would just say don't wait till the last minute to reach out and get help if you are struggling with either assignments or adjusting to life here at Canadore. We have amazing resources and services on campus, so make sure that you get the help that you need from either your professors or any department so that you can, be successful, because that's what they're all here. They're all here to make sure that you're successful, and yeah, just make sure you get the resources that you need to feel supported.
All right, thank you very much. And Shruti.
I would just like to say have fun, because it's very easy to get burned out because you'll be working, you'll be doing school. School can get tough, especially like around the end of semester time. It's gonna be crazy. So all I'm gonna say is have fun, because don't just be going to school all week, working all weekends. Give some time to yourself, because I've done that, done everything, not without even a single day off, and that burns you out, and that's gonna affect your mental health. So take some time. Do not do that. Don't burn yourself out, because then after that, it's just gonna be a mess. After that, it's just gonna go down from there, and coming back up is really difficult. So give importance to your mental and physical health, and just remember that you are here for a new experience, and don't forget to have fun.
All right, thank you very much. Well said. And Kevin, lastly.
So just two small pieces of advice here. The first one is just as the wonderful panelist said, make sure that you know all the services that Canadore has to offer you as a student. When I was a student, I got a gym membership before going to college. That was a bad idea because of course the college has a gym. So there you go. Like there's a lot of services for you as a student. Do not hesitate to ask. Do not hesitate to reach out. Do not hesitate if you need something. Just let us know because Canadore has been amazing to us, like as students, as a staff. So you want to make use of all those services. And the second one is do not underestimate the power of networking. Do not underestimate the power of being in class, giving a smile, even if you think like, oh no, my English is not that good. No, don't think about it. Be brave. Be brave and speak to that. As long as you keep a respectful tag and space, speak to that person. Go to that event. I have found in my education and in the way I work that the defining characteristic of a person that reaches their goals is not intelligence or is not privilege. It's rather being brave to do that thing that you're scared about, being brave to talk to that person that may see a little off, but maybe you have something in common. Maybe it's just a culture thing. Be brave to speak to all the people that you find and see what you can learn from them, because in the long run, you never know. Right now, at this moment, the guy that I was doing my lab reports with is now a friend of mine, a research assistant for Canadore, and I'm working at Student Success Services. And we still drink coffee to this day, talking about what is Canadore doing in research, how are they learning to fix the machines, to use all this equipment, which Canadore has great equipment. So yeah, do the networking. Go to that event, speak to that person. Be brave, and everything will be a-okay. Trust yourself.
All right. So connect with people. Don't hesitate. Be brave. Thank you very much for all your advice.